Hey guys, so in this video we're going to learn about classes. So what are classes? Firstly, let's say we have two h1 tags here. So we have something written here and we have another h1 with something else written here. Well, let's say we wanted to apply styling to this, so we wanted to change this color to blue, for example. If we were to say in the CSS that it must change h1 to blue, it's going to change both of these to blue. So if we wanted to only apply to one h1 tag, which is usually how we style things on a web page, we want to give class names to each thing that's in here. So for example, I can call this class of title, and then this bottom one I don't need to give it a class. And then when we are doing the CSS, we can just say style the title only with the blue text. So that would turn only this one blue and this one would just stay normal as it is. So in this video, since we can't end it right now, all we did is just describe the word title. Let's build out a mockup site that we can apply the CSS to in the next video. So we're going to start CSS in the next video. So let's begin by creating an h1 at the top of the page. This will just hold the title. I'll just use the word title here. We won't really put any real content into this page. One more thing we might want to do here is let's put this in a div. So div, and then we'll put the h1 inside of here. And the reason for this is we want to style the whole area around the div and stuff. So let's do that. We'll still call it title. And next, let's create an article. So an article will contain a heading and then some text inside of it, so a paragraph tag. So let's do another div for that. And inside of it, we'll just do an h3 and we'll call this article heading. And below this, we want to do a HR. So an HR is a horizontal line that goes across the screen. And let's just save this and see what it looks like. So this is the HR. It's just a horizontal line across the screen. And below this, we'll just do a p tag. And actually, if we type in here lorem, L-O-R-E-M, and we hit tab here, it will just give us a bunch of random text to put inside of there. Just to make it look like there's actual text inside here, we use this for prototyping. And yeah, that will basically be our article. Let's copy this once or twice, but first let's add in the classes. So at the top here, the first div which holds the title, let's give it a class of let's call it header. And then on this bottom div, we want to give it a class of article. And actually inside of the article, we want to give this h3 and this p tag separate classes. So we'll give the h3 tag a class of article dash heading. And then we want to give this p tag a class of article dash content. So the reason why we're doing this is we don't want to style the heading the same way as we style the content inside of it. So for example, if we change the size of the text here, we don't want this to become huge as well. We just want it to affect the title only. And now we should be able to just copy this down a few times. And now we have 3 articles here. So I'll just neaten this up a bit, and then in the next video we'll go over CSS and how we can style this up a bit better. And actually, let's just add a button in here as well so that we can look at how we style that. So let me get rid of these two. So when you're in this position where there's like a huge lot of text here and you don't want to go all the way to the end just to create a new line, what you can do in Visual Studio is you can actually create something underneath here So for example, a button, and then you hold down Alt on your keyboard and you press the up arrow and you can move that into the div. So that's a bit quicker than scrolling about on your page and maybe making a mess. So let's just give this button a class of article dash button, and we'll just give it some text of like go to article. And now we can copy that entire div down a few times. So we have a few articles here, and they have headings, content, and then a button to click on. So in the next video, we'll start styling this with CSS. And yeah guys, make sure you have all of this in your file ready to go for the next video.